Hello and welcome to Beta Minecraft 1.7.3. I felt in the mood today to do some YouTube recording, which I have not done in quite a while. I kind of get these random spurts of wanting to do some YouTube content. I've had mild success here and there, a couple videos go viral. Well, somewhat viral, I suppose. I've made some video essays on Godzilla and Spore and just some other stuff that I'm kind of nerdy about. But today I felt in the mood to do some chill, relaxing gameplay of Beta Minecraft. Something that you can just put on in the background and listen to. Hopefully my voice is not too annoying. This is a world I started a couple of days ago. This rain's a little loud. But yeah, this is my first attempt at a forever world. Well, first serious attempt. I've actually made several forever worlds that did not last forever. I'm a little ADHD in that way, which is why I've been pretty inconsistent with this YouTube channel. But currently, I am in the mood to get back into YouTube and make these kind of radio style, long form, casual playthrough videos. But yeah, anyway, so this is my world. I've been working on it for only about 4 or 5 days. Playing pretty regularly whenever I can. This is kind of my little storage room. I don't have a huge amount of resources quite yet, but pretty decent. I just went caving, actually before I started recording, so I got myself a pretty decent amount of coal. Pork chops. Lots of dirt. Good amount of glass. But yeah. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Probably start some sort of build. I've sort of filled up this little area that I've made. So I'll need to expand beyond my little border here. I have started a little bit of a build over here. I'm not that great of a builder, actually. Never have been. I don't really like builds that are overly complicated. I think that's why I gravitate towards old school Minecraft, because it's just a lot simpler. Simpler palette, simpler gameplay. But yeah, here's a little bridge I made. I think I started this yesterday or the day before, something like that. Nothing too special, but what I wanted to do was connect this up to this little area over here. So I've got these stairs going, and I'm thinking we'll come down here, probably stairs down here, and then dig out this little hill here so that it can, the path can connect right here. This is my little wheat farm, and oh yeah, I put dates on when I completed certain builds. This is just a little minecart track. I never really got into redstone, so this was kind of a new thing for me. So nothing too complex. Actually, it's pretty much as simple as you can get. Just a little roller coaster kind of thing. What I want to do with it, though, when I have the resources, is actually have this go much higher, actually to the height of this tower. And I want it to come out and loop around and meet up with this tower here. Kind of like a boarding station. So you can get on at the top of the tower and then ride it down. I was thinking it could maybe cut through this mountain, go all the way through, and then come back up, and you'll end here. Or maybe I could extend this out, have it end about here. Excuse me. I quite like this build. It's kind of the first time I tried to build something that wasn't super square. I don't normally even make roofs. I usually just make box houses. And I like this tower. There's a couple floors. I can show you the top. But yeah. Just felt in the mood to record some footage. So here's the whole area that I've built out so far. Nothing too special. And I do have a nether portal, which I have not actually done any exploring in the nether yet. I just built that portal and then never really went in there. So that's something I could do. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this sort of content. At the moment, not too sure if I'll continue doing this. I had been making a lot of video essay type videos, but I realized just how much work that is, and with my current job I can't really dedicate that much time to the channel. So these kind of videos just seem a little bit more natural to me. I don't have to really force anything. They're light on editing, and so it's much more manageable. And if you're wondering, currently I work as a fire safety technician and electrician at a company called EDS, which stands for Electronic Design Solutions. I just realized, oh, I thought I didn't have any torches. It's not something I ever really envisioned myself doing. Just gonna turn that music down a bit. I actually went to school for digital media arts, and I had planned on becoming a 3D modeler for video games, which I might still pursue in the future. But this job sort of just presented itself to me. Actually, the way I got my job is that my boss now, is actually my neighbor. And he needed some help because it's a small company, only 10 or so employees, and several of his employees were doing kind of side jobs for his brother, who also owns his own company. They make bulletproof glass. And so, yeah, he needed some extra hands because his employees were working 2 jobs, and so we're not able to put in as many hours at his company. And so he asked if I could help out. And I had just graduated from college and was unemployed. I had been looking for work and had no luck. And so I said, yes, I'll help out. And at the time, I really didn't know much about his company or what he did. I knew it had something to do with electricity. You know, I knew he was some sort of mechanic or technician, but I didn't really know what I was in for. It turns out his company does all sorts of stuff. Mostly in the realm of fire safety. So we work on fire panels, sprinkler heads. We do annual maintenance. We test fire suppression systems. Ooh, diamond. Nice. We work on PA systems. We install security systems, door contacts, window contacts, cameras, just a whole bunch of stuff, really. And I didn't know any of this, and I didn't know anything about any of this. And I've been working for the company for maybe 4 or 5 months now, and I feel like I've come quite a long way in a short amount of time. Originally, I was just supposed to stay on temporarily to help out the main technicians, you know, just sort of be an assistant. And also to help out at our office, cleaning up the warehouse, sorting equipment and parts, and occasionally going out into the field with the guys and just helping them out, you know, carrying ladders, carrying equipment, pushing buttons, that sort of stuff. But very quickly, I started to learn and pick up on things. I had to learn a lot about different tools. I had no idea what a multimeter was, or really anything. The most I knew was, I knew what a screwdriver was. I knew what a hammer was. I had no idea what 18.4 cable was, or what any of that meant. I didn't know what wire strippers were. I didn't know what kind of different pliers there are, and any of that kind of stuff. But now I do. And I quite enjoy the work. It can be a lot at times. We do a lot of driving. We drive all over the place. Sometimes I'll do more driving than actual work in a given day. And every day is completely different, because we do contracts. So one day I could be working at a military base installing a PA system, and the next day I could be working in a warehouse on a sprinkler system. And what I mean by sprinkler system is the fire sprinklers, the ones on the roof of buildings. And then another day I could be working on installing a security system. And that keeps things pretty fresh, and never really gets boring. but it also means there is a lot to learn. And I'm still a newbie. Still, mostly an assistant. Although, I can do a lot more on my own now. But yeah, my boss, my neighbor, was very pleased with my progress and my willingness to learn and get my hands dirty. And so he asked me to stay on permanently for as long as I want. And so I kind of stopped pursuing a job in my field that I went to school for. And I've had kind of mixed feelings about that. I am lost. Where? Oh, there's some iron over here. Yeah, I've kind of had some mixed feelings about going to school, getting a degree, and then not using it. But I know that's a pretty common thing these days. But yeah, I might still continue to pursue that in the future, but right now, I'm just happy to have a job. I know that a lot of people in my generation are really struggling to get employed. And so I am very, very lucky to basically have been handed a job. And I recognize that. And it's pretty much the first time in my life that I've been lucky. Because I've had some pretty bad luck over the years. Things have not always been easy for me. But yeah. That's my job situation at the moment. And it does make it difficult to put any time into this channel because I work long hours, sometimes 10, 12-hour shifts. I wake up very early. I've had to get up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Usually, though, I'm getting up around 5 or 6. And so the weekends are really the only time I have to relax, take it easy, enjoy myself. And because of that, I often don't feel like working on a YouTube channel or working on my art portfolio to continue pursuing a career in game design or 3D modeling. But recently I have eliminated some things in my life that have been causing me to have less energy, less free time. And today I just felt pretty good. Thought, well, I'm kind of a talkative person, kind of like randomly yapping about things. And so why not just put that energy into a YouTube video? And here we are. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm being kind of boring. Hopefully, though, somebody finds what I'm talking about to be interesting. Something about learning all this new stuff about electricity is that now I finally understand how redstone works. And so I'm finally actually going to mine it. Because for many, many years, I have basically just mined around it. Because I didn't use it, and I didn't want to spend the time to learn how to use it. But yeah, so it might be cool in the future to build some sort of redstone contraption. Actually, the other day, I built a fire suppression system in Minecraft. Maybe I'll show how that works at some point. That was actually in modern Minecraft, in creative mode. So I would have to switch to a different version to show that. But if anybody's interested, I could show it. Just let me know. Basically how it worked, it was probably pretty simple by redstone standards, but I've never really worked with redstone before, and I was not following any sort of tutorial, so I was just making it all up on my own. But yeah, basically, I made a system where if you pulled a lever on the wall, it would dump water into the room, which is a pretty simple thing. Just a piston moves a block out of the way, allowing the water to flow. The more complex part was that I also created a alarm that would sound when you would pull the lever, or as we would call it in the field, a pull station, which is just a fire alarm, what normal people would call a fire alarm. But yeah, you would pull the pull station and then it would play a no block over and over again until the lever was deactivated. And how I got that to work which I was pretty proud of because I came up with it completely on my own, was that I used a minecart and a contact rail, and I made the minecart go round and round and round in a circle, and so it would set off the contact rail, which was hooked up to a note block. And so it would set the note block off every time the minecart would make a cycle around the track. But I had to also use a piston to move the note block in and out of position so that it was not always sounding the note block. Only when you pull the lever would it play the alarm. So the note block would be pushed up into position when you pull the alarm, and then when you deactivate the alarm, the note block would be retracted underneath the track. So yeah, again, probably pretty simple in terms of what people have done with Redstone, but it was really my first time working with Redstone, and again, I wasn't watching any tutorials. I just came up with it all on my own and used my new knowledge from working with electronics in my job, and it turned out pretty cool. But yeah, so right now I'm just making this little path to the bridge and connecting it up to my main little area. And I'll have to think of something else to talk about. Oh, if you see that building right here, that is actually the first thing that I ever built on this world, which is literally just a box for me to go to sleep on the first night. So here it is, first house, and you can see that I started this world 6 days ago. And so I think it's pretty good progress for 6 days, especially considering I don't have a whole lot of time to play. But yeah, so let's talk about why I'm playing beta Minecraft as opposed to modern Minecraft, because that's a topic people seem to like to talk about. I actually do enjoy modern Minecraft quite a lot. But there's something simplistic in a good way about old Minecraft. And of course this has been talked about loads of times by other people. But I guess I'll just sort of give my perspective on it, and also I can talk about my history with the game. So, I like simple gameplay. Repetitive, grindy gameplay actually is something that I enjoy. I also like um, classic World of Warcraft, for example, which I think is actually objectively better than retail World of Warcraft. But anyway, Minecraft is a game that I have played for many, many years. Actually, the first version I ever played was Beta 1.1, which I think was either 2010 or 2011, which does date me quite a bit, but that's okay. I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm quite a bit older than a lot of people on YouTube. I am actually 29 years old. But yeah, so I started playing Minecraft pretty early on. I never played Alpha, but Beta 1.1 was pretty much Alpha because nothing of note was really added to that version of Beta. I think it was just a couple of bug fixes. And so the first version, the first update, I should say, that I remember was when they added squids. And they also added lapis lazuli and bone meal and oh, I think they added dyes so that you could dye your wool. And so Beta Minecraft is just very nostalgic for me. It's what I prefer most of the time. And the reason that I'm playing Beta 1.7.3 is pretty simple. It's just a very popular version right now on YouTube. And I do like the convenience of having beds, although they are a little glitchy in this version. I like having wolves and a number of other features in this version. But occasionally I will play Beta 1.1 because I consider it to be the most pure version of Minecraft. And what I mean by pure is just, it is not bloated with content. There's a very simple progression system, a very simple amount of blocks. There's less mobs, no beds. It's just very elegant version of Minecraft, I think. So right now I'm just making a little path to my stairs. I have no idea how long this video is, but that's okay. I'm just gonna keep recording until I get bored. Or I feel like I have nothing else to talk about. Oops, I put all my stone away because I thought I didn't need it, but now I do need it. There's lots of other games that I could play in the same style. I could do some World of Warcraft. Skyrim. Terraria. There's plenty of games out there that lend themselves to a more cozy, slow-paced video style. But if there's a game that you really want me to see me play, just let me know. Uh-oh. Oh, I probably shouldn't have let him blow up, but I haven't seen that happen in quite a while, so I wanted to let it play out. But yeah, if there's a game that you have nostalgia for, or you just feel is a cozy game that you'd like to see me play and hear me talk about, let me know. I've just been on kind of a Minecraft binge recently. The 2-week Minecraft period, as they call it. I don't know if it'll last 2 weeks or not. Maybe more, maybe less. Despite my love for art and creativity, I actually tend to run out of creativity in Minecraft pretty quickly. And I guess it's just because, for whatever reason, when I play games, I tend to play them in a more min-maxy kind of way. But I've been trying to force myself out of that habit recently because it makes me stop enjoying gaming. And I think a lot of people share that sentiment. It's sort of a recent phenomenon that people play games in that sort of way, where they're not just playing to have fun, they're playing to be the best or to do things in the most efficient, fastest way. And it kind of makes some games lose their appeal, lose their magic. For example, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think are games that really benefit a lot when you play them with a more childhood wonder. And what I mean by that is that they're games that reward exploration simply for the purpose of exploration. Because you don't really get great rewards in Breath of the Wild for exploring, which is a common criticism of the games. You can spend an hour or two going through a labyrinth only to receive a cosmetic armor piece that really serves no purpose gameplay-wise, because I forgot I need to get some pork chops. But yeah, so that's a game that when you learn to play it more for the sake of enjoyment and discovery, you will enjoy the game much more. And it's when I realized that I started to realize that I have been playing games for many years in sort of a toxic way. And what I mean by toxic is just that I am playing games in a competitive mindset, a min-max mindset that really takes all the enjoyment, all the fun out of the game and just makes it more of a chore, more of a feel like a race to the finish rather than enjoying the journey. And so these videos, I think, will help me get out of that tendency, because it's something that when I was younger, I never had that. I would waste hours of gameplay time just being silly, just randomly wandering around in a game, role-playing, exploring, just having fun. I would do things that were not necessary to complete the game. I didn't care about having the optimal build or finding the best items or completing a task in the most efficient way. I just played games to have fun. And that's something that I have lost over the years, and I think a lot of people have lost over the years. And it's something that I think extends beyond video games as well. I think social media has made everyone more competitive, more attention seeking, and I think it's made people approach life in much the same way that they approach video games today, in kind of a min-max mindset, you know. And I think it's been harmful to a lot of people growing up. They don't see life as a sandbox or an open world or a non-linear story. They see life as a grind to the top. They see life as a competitive esport, where if you're not moving towards a goal at all times, if you're not getting the most out of every single day, being as productive as possible, seeking more and more income, then you're wasting your time. And I don't agree with that. I think that life should not be taken so seriously. Oh, my axe broke. Of course, we need to survive. We need to... Oh, I can't make an axe because I just have wood. We need to survive. We need to make money to pay the bills. And so, of course, to a certain extent, we need to be adults and be responsible and do what needs to be done, what's necessary. But we also need to remember that we do not live to work. We work to live. And it's a very important distinction. What is the point of having money if you're not going to do anything with it other than pay your bills? You should have hobbies. You should travel. You should make friends. And just basically treat life like a choose your own adventure game. Like a sandbox. Like a game that you would play when you were a child, where you wouldn't take it so seriously all the time. Of course, you would move forward, you'd complete the main story, you would get the cutscene, but you'd also spend hours just wandering around a town, talking to NPCs, making little stories up in your head, and just having fun. for no reason other than to just enjoy yourself. And I think it's very important to approach life in much the same way. Make sure that you can support yourself, make sure that you are progressing, but don't feel that every day needs to be spent being productive. Don't feel that every day you need to be improving or moving forward, or that you're wasting your time. Because that will inevitably just lead to burnout and frustration, and it'll actually be counterproductive for you. And also, you will not feel fulfilled even if you are technically successful. You have money, you have a job, you have a house, a partner. If every day of your life is spent working just to get by and just to feel accomplished, then you're not really living, you're just surviving. And so, yeah, that's my soapbox, I guess. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I had some coffee and I'm in a yappy mood. I think I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know if this was cringe and unwatchable and you hate it. Or let me know if you find this relaxing, enjoyable, you like my voice, and you want to see more. My name is Firewolf, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Goodbye.